Hey guys, Big Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of coffee. Lots to talk about today. Actually, one topic to talk about today. Something I've been talking about for quite a while was that Litecoin was massively undervalued. Massively. It should be at least 1 to 4 with Bitcoin. Meaning right now, Bitcoin at 17,000 bucks puts Litecoin at over 4,000. What is that? 4,250, something like that. And Litecoin is trading at $302. $302. Wait a minute. Yesterday it was $230. Yes, we had a breakout of Litecoin as expected, as jumped up and down about. This is nothing compared to what's coming. Absolutely nothing. Remember, the big money's in their rigging. And you want to know how you know they're rigging? Is this. Look at the 1-day chart. When did Litecoin jump? From where were we? We were at 250 bucks, and it was Friday night that it jumped. Right after the markets closed, right after all the traders gone home, boom. Where did that come from? Everybody said, "What happened? I don't get it." It's manipulation. It is rigging, but it was a rig to the downside. So they were keeping a lid on Litecoin. As soon as Charlie Lee made his big announcement that he sold all his Litecoin but will benefit highly from Litecoin's success, the cat was out of the bag that Charlie was working on something much bigger than just the price appreciation of Litecoin. He was working on his ultimate goal was to integrate Litecoin as a payment system. And with the Lightning Network and a couple of big retailers, you can do exactly that. Lightning Network, you need a pool over here and a pool of buyers, off-chain type of transactions, and it can happen instantly, just like that, with no wait time and very little, if no costs. Perfectly, absolutely perfectly set up for large companies like Amazon that everybody uses, so nobody has a problem having a crypto pool willing to work with Amazon. And Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin, said I'm non-biased now, but I will benefit highly off Litecoin doing well. Yes, some kind of deal struck with Amazon makes 100% sense. So that's what's going on. I think Litecoin it won't stop. We're not going to have a long-term bear market for Litecoin. If anything, it'll go too fast. People get too scared to buy in. And they'll all say, "Oh, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble, it's a bubble." Bang! Here's the announcement that someone like Amazon or Facebook or whoever is going to use Litecoin with the Lightning Network component. Pretty much free transactions instantly. Voila! We have the breakout of the crypto payment systems. Maybe even Starbucks will start a little joint venture with Charlie as well. So Charlie don't worry about Charlie. He's positioned well, and he is absolutely doing what he set out to do, which is to create a payment system where that's why Charlie was so excited about Bitcoin locking itself up as the digital gold, because they knew that Litecoin, it would open free reign for Litecoin to be used in everyday transactions. That's where the big money is, truthfully, when you think about it, and that's where humanity is. And that's why I made my move way back when the Bitcoin folks were fighting. So yes, Litecoin has begun a move that will probably last at least through 2018, probably into 2019, with exponential growth. Absolutely exponential growth probably on a monthly basis. Yes, there will be pullbacks like anything, but they won't be long lasting because Litecoin is so undervalued. If it really is going into use as a means of exchange in the regular economy. Remember, we're transitioning from an old economy to a new economy, and the old economy is based on bankster control. Nobody thought we could overthrow the bankers, and now we have the cryptos. So to get to a new economy, we need cheap, fast, and easy payments. Voila, there we have Litecoin. ready to, yes, there are others, but you don't have the security, you don't have all these things. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about why Litecoin. Here's a great article from Seeking Alpha called, it just came out on January 5th, Litecoin More Than Just Silver to Bitcoin's Gold. Summary, Litecoin provides an attractive mix of security, utility, and upside. It is a clone that improves on what Bitcoin delivers. Much cheaper than Bitcoin, fraction of its market cap, attractive for investors. Absolutely. That Litecoin is still a screaming buy. It'll be a screaming buy up until it hits the 1-to-4 ratio, and then it might pause. 1-to-4 with Bitcoin, and maybe even Bitcoin, the combination of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. I don't know, because nobody knows which one's going to take the helm there. What is Litecoin? Litecoin is one of the most prominent altcoins available in today's marketplace, but it was not the first. It was founded by Charlie Lee on October 7, 2011. Several other altcoins, many of which no longer exist, were around and competing with Bitcoin. So what has allowed Litecoin to stick around and become as huge as it is? Lee took stock of the cryptocurrency environment and made design and programming decisions based on what he saw as features that were improperly implemented in other coins that could be used to upgrade Bitcoin's model. With that in mind, Lee developed Litecoin to be the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And all you know, I'm a big silver lover compared to gold. That's why I'm a big Litecoin lover compared to Bitcoin. It makes sense. And if you think about it, you'll get it too. Unlike other altcoins at the time, Lee saw Litecoin coexisting with Bitcoin as a complement rather than a competitor. Much in the same way that gold and silver can concurrently retain value as precious metals with slightly different though overlapping utilities, Bitcoin and Litecoin could coexist. Lee thought that while Bitcoin provided one service, gold, that was perfect for high-end large transactions, Litecoin could provide a similar service, silver, that was better tailored for smaller, less expensive transactions. While doing so, Lee also wanted to make sure that Litecoin would not directly compete with Bitcoin. He focused on two major design choices to facilitate this. Number one, Litecoin would have quicker transactions than Bitcoin. Litecoin's block time, the amount of time needed to validate a transaction, was reduced by 75% to 2.5 minutes from Bitcoin's 10 minutes. Rather than relying on SHA-256 cryptographic hash functions like Bitcoin, Litecoin uses script functions. In theory, this allowed people without dedicated mining hardware to mine Litecoin. And then it goes on to talk about the speed. But 2.5 minute block times is not fast enough. Hence, we have Charlie working with the developers of the Lightning Network, atomic swaps, all this stuff. And it's all about speed. So we all knew that pretty much. Not all of us, but nobody really thought about why Charlie invented Litecoin. And Charlie's huge into Bitcoin. Charlie doesn't need money anymore. But Charlie wants to see his vision fulfilled of Litecoin being the transactional type of Bitcoin. The second major change that Lee made to Bitcoin protocol was the change from the 256 cryptographic hashing to script cryptographic hashing. Both of these represent different ways for miners to prove their work by validating transactions without going into too much detail. While home computers are capable of completing SHA-256 hashing, they're very slow. So it's easier to mine, it's another thing, and it's faster. What I want to get to, it shows how fast it is. And it's fast, but it's not a Lightning Network type fast. It's not instant transactions with little or no fees. But that's coming. That's what Charlie's been working on for all these years. Another area in which Litecoin excels is innovation. Charlie Lee has embraced features and updates that will keep Litecoin competitive. Specifically, he endorsed the onboarding of SegWit and the Lightning Network. SegWit is an upgrade that, among other things, allows for more information to be stored in each block of verified transactions. This added space is valuable in that it allows for more transactions to be relayed more quickly and more cheaply. It also allows for certain off-chain transactions. Until now, all cryptocurrency transactions have occurred on the blockchain. The draw of cryptocurrencies, after all, is the security provided by the blockchain. As discussed above, this is great for big transactions because the value being exchanged makes the fees, energy, and computing power expended in securing them worth it. What about for small transactions? Say you want to buy a cup of coffee, even better. Say that you go to the same coffee place every day and buy a cup of coffee. Imagine having to pay fees for miners who are expending time and energy to verify microtransactions. It just doesn't make sense. One solution is the Lightning Network. In effect, the Lightning Network allows small transactions to be bundled into larger transactions and submitting to the blockchain together. This is done to avoid an unnecessary accrual of fees and to prevent overburdening of networks. And then it talks about how that works. So with Amazon, it would be they would settle in bundles of transactions, and the Lightning Network, that's a perfect thing because it's a centralized place where everybody goes to Amazon to buy a whole bunch of different things. So Lightning Network is going to be perfect for that. And then Charlie Lee's solution, I think that he's working with them or someone like that. There's rumors of Facebook, but Facebook, what products do they really sell? I don't know. I'm not a big Facebook guy. And if you're watching this on Facebook, I'm sorry. I know I have a Facebook channel, but I'm never on it. And the cost is almost nothing in the Lightning Network. And there's just so many reasons, especially if you're sitting there with Bitcoin, you love Bitcoin, and then you're hearing all these things about the bad things about Bitcoin. They're locking it up, trying to turn it into gold. That's, the globalists are trying to get their hands on Bitcoin. It's kind of like the gold versus silver thing. And I advised everybody, hey, get rid of sell your gold for silver because you can a whole lot more. And when silver manipulation ends, voila, you're going to do well. Do I think silver manipulation will end this year? I do think it will. Do I think Litecoin price suppression will end this year? I think it's ending right now. Imagine buying silver when Ted Butler says, hey, it's dimes to the downside when it was under $5. I was buying silver because Ted Butler says it's dimes to the downside risk and dollars to the upside. I love that quote. So I think right now with Litecoin, you look at dollars to the downside and thousands of dollars to the upside. If you can hodl, hold on for dear life because big money wants in because they see this thing happening to Litecoin. And Litecoin will implement Lightning, the Lightning Network. All this stuff will happen at Litecoin first before it hits Bitcoin. And all those Bitcoin hardcore people, if they like Bitcoin, they're going to sell some of their Bitcoin because Litecoin is like the mini version of Bitcoin. It's like an arm of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin Cash doesn't really serve that purpose because of the infighting and all that. I like Bitcoin Cash, but truthfully, Litecoin, I think, will be used a lot more in transactions with the larger companies like Starbucks, like Amazon, like Facebook, Apple, everything. Charlie's perfectly positioned to run with this. And he's loved by the entire community. Nobody hates Charlie Lee. And he's smart. He's a smart dude. So we'll see what happens. Great article. You can read this at Seeking Alpha. It's a really good article. It's an overview of what we already know. Plus, it puts it into a perspective that the big money can understand. The hedge funds that are now in the cryptocurrencies, and they know they can't all go into Bitcoin. It's just it's too much money. So and they're looking for the big pops, the 2, 3, 4 times moves in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and Litecoin's sitting there like a shining little star. Hey, look at this little piece of silver I found on the ground. It's called Litecoin. So they've been holding down the price for a while, and then Friday night after markets closed, after all the big money went home, on a Friday night, mind you, on a Friday night, we have this where Litecoin goes bloop, bang. It had been held down for a while. If you look at it, it's been in this rut. After the big moves from like $40 and it got too high, and they said, okay, we're gonna just hang on. And then this little mark right here is kind of like, look at it like this little mark right here. The little jump up in early December. Let's even go back further. This little jump up right here, when it went from, what's that, $97 to $150, that little jump up, that's a huge jump, obviously. But look what happened after. I think we're going to get another one of those moves, although it's going to keep going because there's so many announcements about to come out for Litecoin. And I know everybody says, "Oh, Bix, you're pumping Litecoin." Yes, I'm going to pump a coin that is undervalued, and I'm going to try to tell you why it's undervalued, what's going to happen in the future to change that undervalued position. And there's just so much big money coming in, and they can't go into these little tiny coins. It's just the hedge funds can, but the big money who have people to answer to can't. But they can go into Bitcoin, and that door is opening. And the next door to open is Litecoin. Ripple, I think, is a bankster coin. All kinds of things that are wrong about Ripple. But yeah, obviously the banks are going to pump that up as they need money, and then they pumped it up right at the end of the year so they can book on their books. Oh, we have $5 billion in assets in a cryptocurrency, and then they can dump it and then pump it the next time they have to report earnings. Insanity. So very excited today that it looks like Litecoin has finally started to make the move, and Cliffs High Data has Litecoin all throughout 2018 and 2019. The biggest worry of Litecoin throughout this year in Cliffs Data was people would be fearful because the price goes too high. It just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up, and everybody gets scared. You think you get scared when it goes down? No, you get scared when it goes up when you're a hodler. So don't fear the heights. Just sit back and hang on for dear life, knowing that this is the future. The future is people will be buying things with Litecoin and the Lightning Network and cryptocurrencies, and it's a real exciting time. It's the very early days, and I just want everybody to think about that. If you think there's potential in the cryptos, we need a means of exchange. That's what I've been fighting for. That's what I was fighting for in the Bitcoin skirmish. Roger Weir had it right that we need a means of exchange, and Bitcoin is no longer a means of exchange. It takes so long to transact on the Bitcoin network. It's ridiculous. So I would say everybody continue to hodl your Litecoin. If you're not in Litecoin, you should be. Especially if you have Bitcoin right now, you should be. I mean, the difference, there has to be a made-up difference. 1 to 4 would be the first stopping point. And right now, with Litecoin at $302 and Bitcoin at 17,000, Litecoin has a long, long, long way to go. And really excited about it, as you can tell. Anyway, this is Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com. Talk to you later.